You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from Nvidia to VIX, and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means we are kicking off our trading week here, our truncated holiday trading week. Hope you had a great long holiday weekend, but now we are back and rearing to go. My name, of course, Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com, as well as from the radio network upon which all of you folks are binging. If you're not hanging out over there on the pro, theoptionsinsider.com/pro, then dare I say it, you missed a banger. The Volatility Deathmatch 2.0. We just got off it. I'm surprised I still have some voice. I'm surprised I still have some nails in my hand. I was biting them. It was so intense. So many back and forth, so many body blows. I will not reveal the winner. You have to head on over to the pro to get that answer for yourselves. Theoptionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go to find all that. You missed the live, so you can't vote along and submit questions and topics, but you can listen to the full session. It will remain over there on the pro for our friends on their exclusive pro podcast. Theoptionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go. And because I'm feeling generous, we will extend that deathmatch code if you want to sign up and kick the tires and try it out for a month. See if you like it. Check it out. Deathmatch is your code, but use it before it goes away as we check out what's lighting up the tape out there in the options market today. Remember, of course, if you want to run your own reports, only place to get them, thehotoptionsreport.com. You can go to your broker, you can go other places, but they're not going to be as good. Thehotoptionsreport.com is the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. If you did that, listeners, you would see that it wasn't exactly a rock'em sock'em robots day out there on the street today. Cost you 454,000 contracts to break into the top 10. That gets you to our old pal, Netflix. You know, Netflix, the deal's done, the deal's in question. I guess we're back up in the air again. We're taking on more bids. Why not? Netflix coming in number 10, 454,000 contracts on the tape for them out there today. Netflix closing up slightly on the day, up 16 cents to close it. $77, pretty much exactly. The hot option in Netflix land today, 32,000 of the 80 calls expiring this week. Average price for these about 33 cents. They're not giving these away. Obviously, if you're buying these right now, you expect Netflix to have a banger rest of the week, certainly north of the 80 handle. Can it get there? You like these? Is that a good nibble for you? Or is that a little bit too rich for your blood? I'm curious. Hit us up. Let us know as we keep climbing to the number 9 spot. If it looks like a div play and it quacks like a div play, chances are it's a div play. That's also usually the only time ConocoPhillips is going to break into the top 10 in the options market. Yet it is there at number 9 today, putting up 468,000 contracts. The stock selling off $2.65 to close right around 108 3/4. It's a div play, so you know it's going to be fairly in the money contracts, and it's the pars and actually the 105 calls. So not as in the money as you might expect, but still in the money paper, going up about 150,000 of the 105s and 103,000 of the par calls, lighting up the tape in the cop today as we keep climbing to number 8. This is a frequent offender these days. Who are we talking about? We're talking about our old pal Alphabet Class A, selling off $3.68 today to close at 302.04, putting up 479,000 contracts for the number 8 spot in our countdown today. The hot option on a fairly light day, all things considered, in Alphabet, 14,000 of the 315 calls. So an interesting strike. Average price for these, 54 cents. This was opening flow. Stock got as high as about 304.5 today, so maybe that makes you more interested in the 315s, or maybe you think, you know what, sold to you all day long. These are expiring this week, so if they're going to be relevant, Alphabet's got to get its butt in gear before the end of the week as we get our butt up to the number 7 spot on our countdown today. It's our old pal, Mr. Softy. You don't need me to break down what a tumultuous year it has been for Softy, selling off another $4.46 today to close $396.86. Listeners, that's off a little over one, about 1.1%, putting up 521,000 contracts. For the number 7 spot on our countdown today, the hot option and Mr. Softy, again, kind of a muted day, a little bit shy of 14,000 of the 405 calls. Now, interestingly, these are not the weeklies. These are actually expiring tomorrow. So average price for these about 90 cents. So once again, 405 by tomorrow's expiration, Microsoft's going to have to get in gear. The stock did get as high as 400.5 intra-session, so maybe that makes you more inclined to like these, or maybe either way you want to hit the bid on these. As we keep climbing to the number 6 spot on our list, another frequent offender. It's our old pal, Palantir. If it's a day that ends in Y, chances are Palantir's in our top 10. Palantir rallying back slightly today, up about $1 2/3 to close 133.02, listeners, up about 1.25%. It's been, again, a challenging start to the year for Palantir. They're off nearly 21%, or about 35 handles a year to date, listeners, putting up 563,000 contracts. For the number 6 spot out there today, the hot option in Palantir land, about 25,000 of the 135s. Now, the stock did get as high as 134.32 today. So again, maybe you like those better at that level. The average price for these was $1.55. So they were not giving these away. These are expiring on Friday. If you are intrigued by these, listeners, let's see if we're all intrigued by our number 5 contender today, listeners. It's our old pal AMD. They've been all over the place so far this year. They've been up, they've been down, they've been up again. And right now they are down off 4.25 today, or about exactly 2%, to close at 203.08. That puts them down about 9% year to date now, or a little over 20 handles. So again, a tumultuous start to the year for AMD, putting up 621,000 contracts. For the number 5 spot out there today, the hot option in AMD, 98,000 of the 187 half puts. Average price for these, 93 cents. Now, there is OI on this strike. They are expiring on Friday. Looks like somebody could have been bailing on these. 187 half by the end of the week. The low today was 194.83, so maybe that makes these look a little bit different to you in hindsight. But either way, it looks like somebody might have been getting the heck out of Dodge on the 187 half puts in AMD today. But we're not getting out of Dodge. We have to keep climbing to the number 4 spot on our countdown today, listeners. This is our old pal, good old Amazon. Amazon rallying $2.36 to close 201.15, up about 1.2% today, putting up 1.1 million contracts for the number 4 spot on our countdown today. And the hot option in Amazon today, 44,000 of the 195 puts. Average price for these, $1.01. You might say 201, 195 puts. These are also expiring tomorrow, as you would expect, in all these hot new 0-day options. You might say 1 day to go, 195 strike. That seems kind of wild, but the stock did get as low as 196 earlier in the session, so clearly those were a lot more relevant then than they are now, but we'll keep an eye on these. Probably want to hit that bid for $1 now if they were still trading there as we keep climbing to the number 3 spotless. Keep it in the A tech names. It's the Fruit Company. This is another name that's had just an absolutely wild start to the year. They were red, they were red, they were red, they were green, they were super green, they were red again. What happened today, listeners? Well, the Fruit Company was pretty much super green again today, rallying $8.10, or a little over 3, almost 3.2% to close 263.88. So again, just a wild year continuing out there. This erases a good chunk of their losses for the year now. They're only off about 2.6%, or a little over 7 handles year to date so far. So again, just a wild start to the year for the Fruit Company, putting up 1.2 million contracts. So a pretty hot day in the Fruit Company today as well. What was the hot option on a hot day in Apple? It was the 265 calls. Average price for these, $114. Obviously, these went out of the money. These are expiring tomorrow, so maybe that changes your frame of reference. Again, average price for these, $114. Now, worth noting, the stock did get as high as $266.25. So these were nearly $1.30 in the money earlier in the session. So maybe that changes your opinion on these. We'll keep an eye on these. Let's see if this strike and these options are still relevant after the closing bell tomorrow as we keep climbing to the number 2 spot. You know what it is by now. It's our old pal Tesla. Tesla putting up just shy of 2 million contracts today, 1.98 million to be precise. Selling off $6.81 or about 1.6% to close. 410.63 listeners. And the hot option in Tesla today, almost 71,000 of the par puts, the 400 puts. So once again, the par strike capturing the imagination. Average price for these, $2.97. We did bounce literally off that strike earlier in the session, listeners. It got down to 400.5 before rebounding all the way up to 410 and change. So maybe that changes your opinion of these. They were certainly looking a lot more relevant earlier in the session than they are now. But we'll keep an eye on these. Can Tesla threaten the par strike again, or will it be rally ho mode tomorrow? We shall find out as we keep climbing to the number 1 spot. You know it, you love it, maybe you hate it out there. It's our old pal Nvidia. Closing today just shy of 185, putting up a little over $2 or about 1.2% today. And again, putting up 2.52 million contracts. So not the most explosive options day in the history of Nvidia. And the hot option today in Nvidia, about 170,000 of the 175 puts. These are interesting. These are actually expiring on Friday, not expiring tomorrow. Average price for these, about 85 cents. Now, worth noting, there is some size OI on this strike, so it looks like someone might be getting the heck out of Dodge on these. And before you say 175, that's pretty far out of the money. The stock got as low as 179.18 intra-session before it turned around. So these were looking far more relevant earlier in the session than they are now. Maybe someone wanted to get while the getting was good. We have to get on out of here for your hot options report today. We'll be back tomorrow on the network with everybody's favorite options boot camp, as well as, of course, the futures rundown. And then after the closing bell, another episode of Thor. Remember, if you want to check out any of the data we talked about today, or a whole bunch more we didn't have time to get to, thehotoptionsreport.com. And of course, get on over to the pro, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. Check out that Vol Deathmatch for yourselves. Because I like you, I will keep that code Deathmatch going so you can try it out for yourselves, kick the tires and light the fires. Get over a dozen live streams, get 2 exclusive shows on top of fun stuff like the death matches, giveaways, all sorts of other good stuff. TheOptionsInsider.com/pro. Try out that code Deathmatch before it goes away, and then we'll be back tomorrow, another episode of the Hot Options Report. Stay safe out there.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.